Geoffrey here. In this video, I'm going to show you ways that you can regain or you can maintain that power that you have in your relationship, but without doing any of the manipulative or controlling things that you often associate with when trying to regain that power. And I really want you to stick around till the end of this video, because what I'm going to talk about here will go way beyond what other coaches will talk about or what they've discussed regarding this topic. And in case we haven't met, my name is Geoffrey, and I help men in long-term marriages or long-term relationships with the right skills and knowledge to be able to design a thriving relationship for themselves. So if you want more videos on this, then you want to subscribe and click the bell button as well to be notified when I post new videos 3 times every single week. And really quickly, before we begin this video, I want to let you know that a few spots have opened up for my free masterclass on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up. If you're interested in joining that masterclass, then be sure to stick around till the end of this video for the announcement on how you can get in on that. So the first thing I want to discuss here, and this is going to be the overarching theme throughout this video, is going to be you coming from a place of want and not need. So most people that I talk to really only have 2 modes. So they might start off, let's say, by finding themselves completely in a needy state here, where they're completely needy, they're trying to control their partner, but then they watch a bunch of YouTube videos and they realize, oh, being needy actually is not a good thing. And they go the other complete extreme where they're trying to be indifferent, playing the no contact rule, playing aloof and so on. Obviously, if you're needy, the way you take out your own power is obvious here, in that you will show that you will have everything to lose in this negotiation, in this interaction, and your partner has really nothing to lose. And it will also show that you will really have no value to offer here, because if you really did have value, you won't need to beg or plead or be all needy like this. The same way, if you look at a salesman, if he was really that good, if his product was really that good, he wouldn't need to beg anyone to buy his product. But if you're acting too aloof and too indifferent, it will also be taking away your power too, which I think a lot of people don't understand, in that it will show that you're just too childish for a long-term relationship. That you're trying to play this game and you're being non-committal, for example, that you don't understand that there is a problem in the first place, that there are issues that you need to take care of, and you can't just simply walk away and say, oh, if I walk away, my partner will miss me. And ironically, if you show her all these things, it will show her that she really has nothing to lose as well, because if you really don't care, then why would she even fight for the relationship? It doesn't make sense. So understand that between these 2 extremes here, there is a balance, and that balance is when you're coming from a place of want. So what does it mean to come from a place of want? It's when you're not afraid to state your desires, what you want. For example, if you want to work on a relationship, you're not afraid to state that. But it's also you not being afraid to walk away and actually mean it when you walk away. And this works because this is when you find that nice balance between asking for what you want, but at the same time, making your presence still be valuable. Because again, you're willing and able to walk away if needed. Now, there are so many examples that I can give you of what it means to come from a place of want and not need or indifference here. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 ways that you can do this, that you can come from a place of want in your relationship. So the first example of how you can come from the place of want here is by learning how to respond to your partner in your relationship and not react. So what do I mean by that? A good example of this is how a lot of people deal with communicating in their relationship. So a lot of people, for example, they start off by reacting to every single text, to every single call, to every single whim that their partner has for them. You will drop everything you're doing at that moment to pick up that phone call, to answer to that text. In other words, you are subconsciously reacting to every single moment and reacting to your partner here. So a lot of people start off in this one extreme. But let's say you watch, again, some YouTube videos, you learn that, hey, being reactive like this is not that healthy. Then they go the other extreme and act as if they don't even need their partner at all. But again, I'm going to show you why these 2 extremes, or embracing these 2 extremes, will make you less powerful. Because if you're reactive here, if you're responding to her every whim, every text, every phone call, and so on, you are showing her that she can really get your attention, get your time whenever she wants. And so your time and your presence becomes a lot less valuable there. But if you play the other route, again, where you're trying to play aloof, indifferent, and like you don't care about whether she's there or not, then again, it shows that you're childish, that you don't care. And again, it shows that you don't really have a value because you don't give a crap about the relationship, about her. So why should she care and fight for this relationship? It doesn't make sense. So the balance I want you to find here is in the middle again, is when you're responding to life. So what does it mean to respond? So in my own life, for example, I only schedule 1 to 3 moments every single day when I'm responding texts from my partner. So even if my partner texts me at 10 a.m. and my scheduled time to look at my phone is really at 3 p.m., I'm not going to respond to her or even look at her text until 3 p.m. But then when I do respond, I respond with a lot of enthusiasm. So I will tell her, for example, hey, it's really nice to hear from you in the middle of the day like this. I'm rewarding my partner for reaching out to me, for calling me, for texting me, whatever it is. Another example is when my partner calls me during work, for example, and I'm busy at that moment. I will tell her, hey, it's really nice hearing from you. I've got to run right now. I've got to do something at work, but how about we chat tonight at 9 p.m. and I'll be 100% present with you at that moment. I want to listen to everything you have to say at that moment. So again, here I'm responding, I'm not reacting, and I'm not totally indifferent either. And the reason why responding in your life to your partner here works is that it's where you meet the fine balance between scarcity and reward. Scarcity because you're making your presence into a more precious commodity, that she can't just text you and get you to reply whenever she wants, that she can't just have you at her every beck and call. But you're also balancing this with reward to where whenever your partner reaches out to you, you're rewarding her for doing so and making her feel good for doing so by either showing your enthusiasm or deferring something to a later time where you can be 100% present. So again, this makes your presence a lot more valuable to her and a lot more powerful at the same time. Now, the second way that you can find this place of want here is when you are understanding what it means to be interdependent in your relationship. What does that mean? Most people, for example, they start off in this one extreme by being dependent. That's when you're being very needy. So their partner comes home very angry, for example, in a very angry emotional state. They are tethered to that. Their emotions are dependent on that, and they'll also feel angry. They'll also feel annoyed. And if their partner, let's say, is feeling hopeless about their relationship, they are tethered to that, they're dependent on that, and they cannot help but feel the same hopelessness that she feels as well. So you might realize this already, and you watch some YouTube videos again, for example, and you might realize, oh my gosh, this being dependent like this is actually not good for me. Being tethered to my partner like this is actually not good. But then what they do is they embrace the other extreme, and they become too independent. And they act as if, they don't really need their partner, or they say things like, whatever, I'm just not going to be around you when you're angry like this, bye. Or they say, I don't need you or this relationship. But again, this will remove your power in all the ways that we talked about earlier, which is that if you're needy, if you're too dependent, then obviously you will lose all the power that you have here. But if you're being too independent as well, it will show that you just don't care, you're too aloof, that you're too childish and you're playing all these games, and it will also take away your value as well. So the balance here is when you're finding this middle ground between the two. And that's when you're finding this place of interdependence. And that's when you know that you're together. You're acknowledging that you're together, but it's two separate people. What does that mean? So the first part of this is understanding that you need to be untethered in your relationship. You need to be able, for example, to still maintain your positivity and your cheerfulness whenever your partner is feeling negative or feeling angry. It's your ability to be able to maintain your own hope, even though your partner may feel very hopeless at the moment. Right? So your emotions, how you think, is determined by how you think, not by how your partner thinks. You are untethered there. But at the same time, while you're being untethered here, you're also recognizing that you two are together. So this is, for example, when you're using your own positivity that's sourced from within to help your partner feel more positive when she's negative. And this is also when you're helping your partner, using your own hopefulness to generate more hope and to restore hope in your partner as well. And when you can do this, you are going to make your presence a lot more powerful here, because you're going to become that strong leader, that strong captain of the ship that she can rely on. You are the leader who can basically inspire hope when all hope is lost. You can inspire order when everything else is disorderly. You can inspire positivity when everything seems negative. So imagine you're this captain of the ship, and imagine a captain of the ship who feels hopeless whenever his crew members feels hopeless, who feels negative whenever his crew members feels negative. He would be a really bad captain, and no one would follow this guy. He would have no power. But if you can instill positivity, hope, despite what's going on around you, that's where true power comes in. And your partner will start to associate you with that power eventually. Because you're here, you're determining your own fate. Nothing can really affect you, but you are the one that is affecting other people, other things, your environment, and so on. That's true power. Then the third one here is how you gain power is always finding that win-win solution, or having this win-win attitude. So what do most people do? So most people, they live in this world of compromise. So either they're coming from a win-lose place where they're trying to control and impose all of their ideas, all of their solutions onto their partner, right? Using statements and their pseudo sense of power, basically. This is when you have the my way or the highway attitude. Or they realize that doing that is toxic, then they go to opposite extreme, where they try to embrace the lose-win situation where they're just deciding to go with whatever their partner wants to do. They're losing their power completely and just being a doormat there. And this is men who have the never argue with the wife or the wife is never wrong kind of attitude. But again, if you embrace any of these two extremes, you're going to lose your power, because if you're coming from a win-lose position where you're always trying to impose your ideas and use your power here, your false sense of power to control what your partner is thinking, you think you're being powerful, but people are only listening to you out of fear and out of their logical side of the brain. But if you don't win them over emotionally, then they're going to spend every waking moment trying to get out of your grasp, get out of your control here. It's like trying to work for a very tyrannical boss, for example. Logically, you know that you need to do certain things to make your boss happy. But every single waking moment, emotionally, you're going to want to get out. You're going to want to find a new job. And if you're coming from a lose-win position, then it's obvious why you're giving up your power, because you're just being a doormat and relinquishing all your power to your partner right now. So the balance here between these two extremes is always finding that win-win, but perhaps not in the way you're thinking. So most people find a win-win by thinking up some idea of what they think a win-win is. Then they make a statement. They tell their partner, like, here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Here's what I think we should do. And so they make these statements, but when you're doing this, you are actually putting yourself in this win-lose category, because you don't know for sure if what you think is a win-win is also a win-win in your partner's idea. You don't know that. So how do we actually find a win-win in a proper way here? So it begins first by asking a lot of questions to understand things from your partner's perspective. And basically, you want to keep asking questions and dig deeper and discovering until you can go, oh, I see why you chose to decide on this thing. I see now why you think this is a good idea. And until you get there, you haven't gotten to the root core of why she thinks that that's a good idea. Because the truth is, you might think your ideas are great, but your partner has the same conviction and the same reasons for why she thinks her ideas are great. And your job is to find out the ideas from both sides. Then once you think you've come to this understanding, then I want you to recap this conversation to her, recap your understanding to her, to say, okay, so if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is X, Y, Z. Is that right? If she says, no, that's not right, go back to the questioning mode and ask more questions about that. But if she says, yeah, that seems right, then you're free now to give your suggestions. But when you do give your suggestions, you want to make it a dialogue, not a statement again. So you might say, for example, hey, can I tell you what I think? Let her say yes and say, well, here's what I think, X, Y, Z. What do you think? And that final what do you think is crucial, because that's when you're letting your partner tell you whether she agrees or disagrees. If she disagrees, then that means that there's something that you haven't understood about her point of view yet, and that your suggestion, your recommendation wasn't what she was looking for, wasn't that win-win for her. So go back to the questioning stage and ask, okay, it seems like you don't like the decision. I must be missing something. Can you tell me more about why you don't think that's a good idea, for example? And then loop back around to making another suggestion that you think will be a better win-win this time. And you're going to do this until she says, that makes sense, let's do that. And this is really, really powerful for 3 reasons here. One is going to create safety with the both of you. And this safety is important because it will allow her to express more things to you. So the power of a captain, let's say, or a leader in a company or any aspect in life is his ability to understand what is going on with every part of the ship, every part of the company, whatever it is. And if they lose safety and people start to withhold information from the leader, then the leader loses power to make good decisions. But as long as safety is created and all the employees and all the crew members can feel free to actually express whatever they want to express to the captain, then the captain becomes more powerful. So that safety creates knowledge, and that knowledge will be power for you. And this is also how you get people to follow you voluntarily. It's not because you're telling her to, you're forcing her to, but because she voluntarily wants to. And that's going to put you in a much more powerful position as well, because that's when you become a true leader there. And it also empowers you and the relationship to be associated with something, some entity that makes you win-win. It's almost like the Godfather effect. You know, if you watch The Godfather, people come to the Godfather for some help. And that puts the Godfather in this very powerful position in the community. And the same thing here, you're going to be conditioning and letting her associate you and associating that relationship with that win-win solution, thereby adding power to the both of you as well. Now, the last one here is crucial, and that's farming, not hunting. So most people, they start off, the whole journey by hunting here. So they have this attitude where they want whatever results they want it now. So whether that result is their partner opening up, their partner working on the relationship, their partner like coming back together, right? They want the result now. And if they do not get the results now, they get all angry, they get all upset, and they get all panicky here. And if they find, let's say, that hunting doesn't really get them what they want in the short term, then they go the other extreme where they act completely indifferent, aloof, and they get all dejected and they say, oh man, this thing is hopeless. I can't do this anymore. Whatever, I give up. So they're always straddling these two extremes here. But understand that when you're hunting for something, hunters are desperate people because they're always looking for that short-term gain, short-term outcome. And why are they looking for that short-term outcome? Because their model of operation is really not sustainable. If their hunt does not give them the outcome, then they will starve. So you can see here, if you're coming from the place of hunting in your relationship, you're going to be desperate and needy forever because hunters are desperate people. And of course, if you go the other extreme here where you give up, then you will just admitting defeat and you're losing all your power there. Pretty obvious. Now, the balance here is in the middle of the two where you're farming. So this is when you're understanding that anything in life that is worth having is going to be a slow process. That success for you is not when you're hunting for outcome every single day. Success is when you're simply planting seeds each and every day and being okay with the results taking 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 12 months for you to get. Right? It's the same way the farmer is not looking at his crops every day going, has it grown yet? Has it grown yet? Has it grown yet? And they can do this because they have the confidence here that in the long term, they will get the results if they just plant the right seeds each and every day. And once they get the result though, unlike the hunter, their results will be bigger and more consistent as well. And just that thought of having a bigger and more consistent win in the long term is what gets them going right now, today. And we do this, for example, by understanding how to plant seeds of safety each and every single time we have a conversation with our partner. And we mentioned some of this in a lot of my other videos, but in the previous video specifically, I mentioned this of how you can farm for safety over time in your relationship that plants the right seeds each and every single time. And why this works is the perfect balance between your want again and simply walking away. Because you're not coming from a place of need here. Because you can wait for that long-term outcome, for long-term result, and you can walk away. But you're not being completely aloof and showing your lack of care throughout this whole process because you're planting seeds along the way and you're still expressing your wants genuinely. Now, in this video, I gave you a handful of things that you can think about in regards to regaining or maintaining power in your relationship. Now, there's so much more that we can talk about in terms of how you can find this balance of want and regaining that power in your relationship. So if you want to learn more about this, then you want to join me in my free masterclass on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up. And in this masterclass, I will show you the exact same process, basically, that all my students have used to become the strong leaders in their relationship and rebuild their relationship to something that honestly they can say thrives, and do so while still maintaining or regaining that power in the relationship. So if this masterclass sounds interesting to you, then click the link above my head or also in the comments below, in the description box below this video as well. And if you're looking for a free guide that can help you guide conversations in a way that lets you straddle this fine balance between needing and being completely indifferent to a place of want here, then you also want to download my free guide on opening and healing your partner's emotions down below this video or with the link above my head right now. And if you're looking for a community of people where you can get support from and you can get good advice from, then you want to join me in my free Facebook group. And the link to that is also below this video. Now, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this one. And leave a comment below. What did you find most insightful or most eye-opening from this video? Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, I'll leave you with these 2 other videos that will equip you with the right skills and knowledge to be able to thrive in your relationship. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video.